Opinions. They're like buttholes. Everyone's got one, and the best part is that they are personal to you, and they can't be wrong. Unless you're on the internet, then you'd say, opinions are like buttholes. Yours is full of shit. And that is why I'm starting a new set of videos called Devil's Advocate. The videos where I display both sides of an argument all about a controversial TTRPG topic. In these videos, I have no bias. I'm not here to change your mind, I'm just presenting what I've read and heard. So not to waste your time, here is our first ever topic. You only need one set of dice. Let's turn this light off. The red. Not a serious issue, like in the slightest, but I thought I'd start fun. Remember, I'm not here to preach my opinion, so you do only need one set of dice. A set of your average nerdy dice contains a d4 to a d20, and there is no logical reason to need more than just one set. You're swinging a longsword in D&D, d8 or d10. You're making an attack roll, d20. You're doing anything in Call of Cthulhu, that's a d10, and the other d10 that we're scared of. You're playing everyone as John or Goblin Quest, d6. But to voice the other side, you gotta have more than just one set of dice. There are times like making an attack roll where you might be rolling up to 2 dice, but there are other times when even the simplest classes and abilities in D&D and other TTRPGs ask you to roll multiples of the same dice. Fireball, Sneak Attack, Divine Smite, Cone of Coal, Blade Barrier, rolling for anything in the Fallout RPG, all ask you to roll anything from 2 to 12 dice, and some things even more, so you need more than one. Well, here's the thing. Do you know how you roll 2d6 for a great sword in D&D? Well, if you have 1d6, you can roll it again. Yes, that might take a while for casting something like Fireball, but if you're on a table with people who have one set each, who doesn't love asking for everyone's dice? It makes the table feel like they're a team who are all casting this spell. It can be fun, but if you're a rogue using sneak attacks every round, constantly asking for people's dice would be so annoying and time consuming, and even if it's you with one set of dice at 1d6 and you have like up to 10d6, every round's gonna be so bad. It would be far easier if you as a player who was expected to bring their own stuff to be courteous to the other players brought enough dice to make gameplay less tedious. If we're arguing purely logic and function, yes, you need only one set, but it's much easier to have more than one. Is it easier though? Plenty of people have played in certain RPGs where the table had one set of dice to share, and they managed fine. And hey, if you play something like Everyone is John, or Goblin Quest, or Lasers and Feelings, the whole table could use one dice. Yes, but those are those games. Even less widely renowned games that are still great maybe only use d6s, like GURPS, that's not less widely renowned, but you know, they'll use multiples of that dice, so it'd be good to have multiples. But we're focusing hard on function like a robot and ignoring a very important point. Happiness. Without making it sound like a joke, why do you think there is such a dice goblin culture across the TTRPG community? It's because people love having dice, people love collecting dice and having multiple sets. Some people gain as much happiness from treating themselves to a new set of dice as they would anything else. Here is the thing though, like anything else you possess, if you have a lot of something, then you derive all that happiness from the collection of dice, and not the dice themselves. Having a big old bag of very different dice of different kinds, with some that might have even costed more because of their uniqueness or particular craft or aesthetic that went into them, becomes a bag of dice that have lost all meaning. Because you can't have a favourite set of dice in that collection. And if you do, then what you actually have is one set of dice that you love and a big bag of useless dice. Well, what about the people that have a set for each character that they play? It feels super fun to play a fantastical wizard with blue or purple sparkly dice, and then have a set of red hot fiery ones to play a character just like Karlach from Baldur's Gate. To some that would be fun, but to others, they'd be content with one fun set and attributing all the fun of that character into the sheet and the time at the table, and not into the colour of the math rocks that are rolled. So after that, which is the right answer? None of them. That's the point. There is no right answer to this discussion. There will be people who love filling a bucket full of dice like Laura Bailey, and those that are fine with not as many dice like Lou Wilson.
You need one set of dice, and that's it. I'm sorry.
But the important thing is that we don't start lecturing people about their dice collection, and don't push people to get more dice. And that's one thing I didn't mention, but when it comes to money, you making fun of someone who has only one set of dice and can't have one set of dice, that's psychopathic, might be cutting someone deep who doesn't want to make you feel bad by telling you that they can't spare the money for plastic like you can. We're all playing different games, with different groups, with different people, with different backgrounds and home lives. So, let's just be kind to each other. We can both play our games and have a great time, regardless of whether I'm taking my dice home in my pocket, or I'm taking them home in a wheelbarrow. Now, if that's all you wanted, you can click the timestamps to the outro, that's fine. But as to why I made this video and plan to make more like it, I'm gonna explain in this video only. Like, right now. I've been recently making some shorts that I like to call the I just finished my new character shorts. I like making them and I think a bunch of people have enjoyed them. And alongside comments telling me about their experiences at the table, which I love all of them, I will see someone who thinks that I'm expressing an opinion that they really don't agree with. I understand why. I'm the only one in the short and I'm saying the opinion that they don't agree with. But I'm portraying two people having a conversation, so I'm also saying the opposite opinion. But despite this, people think I'm on one side when I'm figuratively and literally on both. I don't use these videos or the shorts to shame you or brainwash you. I'm going to be on both sides. Both opinions are valid. I thought of this video idea, then it kind of reminded me of Slightly Civil War from The Escapists, and more particularly when one of them would be forced to argue an opinion, I think it was Yahtzee, that they really didn't agree with. I have some more topics to cover in the future that have resulted in some very frothy comments, but for now, please weigh in on this topic by commenting your dicey opinions down below. And if you guys want some fun classes, subclasses, magic items, and a great virtual tabletop to check out, you can click the links in the description. There's a veritable buffet of fun to find down there. Click the video on screen to get some fun and inspiring monster ideas. I love you all, and I'll see you next Saturday.